We love
hip
hip
hop.
hop.
Or not a list, but I was been pontificating on dumb cities.
Pontificating is a great word.
The reason that this started to spark into my brain, and I put together some names of dumbest gangster cities. And the reason why I'm thinking dumbest gangster cities, because self-snitching has become like an art form at this point. Right?
Okay.
And LA has been caught up into a lot of different, with this whole rolling 60 stuff. We're starting to see through all these different podcast episodes of so much guys who are just willing to self-snitch. But they're not the only ones. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to compile maybe a list of the dumbest cities based on a lot of the stuff that we know about them. Maybe their whole scene being in jail. Unfortunately, a lot of their artists just being out of there because of death, but just everything just being out there online. So here's what I have, and this is no particular order. LA, Jacksonville, Chicago, Toronto, and New York. Atlanta I have there, but I don't know if Atlanta should be on this list. Because Atlanta, to me, might have been the smartest city out of all of these cities that were like out there self-snitching.
Why do you say they're the smartest?
Well, one, they had the YSL Rico. Thug is home. So he beat that. They try to say that it was lyrics that were used in his songs, but like they weren't like that incriminating in comparison to the type of shit that we hear in Bronx drill or Brooklyn drill. You know what I'm saying? The amount of self-snitching that Toronto rappers have done that have been called out for that. And the reason that Toronto's on this list too is because the reason the Toronto scene is dead is because half of these guys are in jail. So they're not smart enough criminals to stay out of jail neither. You know what I mean?
But do you feel like going to jail makes you a dumb criminal? Like getting caught?
Maybe dumbest gangster cities might be a harsh way to put this list.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to be like, yeah, LA's dumb. Like
y'all dummies.
Yeah, they're all dumb. Like, nah, obviously not.
Okay, so maybe I should word this better. What is the biggest self-snitching city then?
Hope you're enjoying the video. Do me a quick favor while you're here and smash that like button so we can break the algorithm. And join the comment gang and subscribe. It's free.
Based on what I've seen with, I guess, publicized Ricos, I'm gonna say New York.
I don't agree. I'll say Chicago.
I was gonna say Chicago next, but yeah, New York and Chicago, between those two.
Yeah.
I feel like New York is maybe, how do I explain it? Chicago, I feel like a lot of it was aided by external media.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like New York, it's more internal through the music. But I could be wrong too. I'm sure there are like New York blog pages.
I'm not aware of them.
Yeah.
I feel like World Star is the most that I know from New York, but there's a set of New York blog pages. But I feel like a lot of these guys like played themselves by putting up the phone and showing it themselves. Like K Flock, who we spoke about last week, got sentenced, but he showed a lot of his shit online. You know what I'm saying? But I think they all got that from the Chicago guys.
Yeah.
These guys were on Twitter from like 2015 just tweeting at each other talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And half of their scene is locked up or in jail, and everybody knows about their crimes because they just self-snitch on themselves.
Yeah, but I don't think we can target it to territories. Like at this point, self-snitching is a broader cultural and musical phenomenon. And you know what I'm saying? Like it's not just like, oh, this place. It's not bound to any place. I think everyone does it different. Like LA, obviously they have music as a platform, but they also have No Jumper, which is a platform that many have gone and self-snitched.
I think LA uses podcast more than they use music.
Whereas you're saying New York, they'll use what, more social media or more music?
They use music and their social media.
And then Chicago, you're saying more music and social media as well?
Yeah, music and social media. It might even be social media might even be a little bit more, because like I learned about the lore of Tuca through just their social media posts and stuff like that.
But even Toronto is social media. I think we will have a few bars and some songs, but it's the IG lives, it's the IG stories, it's the comments, it's he liked this comment about his op.
Yeah, and the opportunities that we've gotten in Toronto. Anytime that we got to branch out to the world where like an academics or somebody does like a combination stream with us, that's the first opportunity we take to just say the most incriminating shit get at each other from window to window. I hate you. I'm gonna smoke you when I see you. All the type of shit. I'm like, that's why I kind of put the dumbest criminals in this too. But we're not gonna call anybody dumb. But self-snitching. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bruh. The reason I put Atlanta on the list is because Atlanta is a major hip-hop city as well, or a major city with just a lot of crime and stuff. But I can't put them on the list of the biggest self-snitchers because I feel like out of a city that has so much crime going on, they've done the least amount of self-snitching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could be right. Yeah.
Like, we don't hear about a lot of social media posts or live streams that came out of Atlanta with all these guys just telling on themselves. They don't jump on podcasts. Like Lil Baby, he used to barely speak in his interviews. We didn't barely know anything about him. You know what I'm saying? Migos, same thing.
I feel like a lot of these Atlanta rappers are more musical. They enjoy the musical aspect of it, so they're not necessarily self-snitching.
Yeah.
It's more about the swag. It's more about being P. It's more about having a song that the girls can jam to and that, dudes will respect. It's not necessarily about op music or incriminating music.
Yeah.
So it's more of a cultural thing too.
Yeah. Listen, let us know in the comments also if you want to put a self-snitching, not dumbest, okay? I'll take that back, all right? The biggest self-snitching cities, and put them in order. You know what I'm saying? I think Chicago is kind of tough to keep that number one spot because like there's been so much people who've done dumber or self-snitched more over the years, but they've done so much in their heyday that it's kind of, it keeps them in the top 3 at least.
Yeah, it's more their impact, like how they've influenced other people's behaviors, right?
Yeah, like fam, there's people who pattern their styles off of King Von in Chicago. Like the one guy who talked about how he had 12 bodies and he was like public about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like you guys want to go to jail. And if there's any cities that I missed, because I know I missed some cities that have done, it was like, bro, like Jacksonville. Sorry, before we get off of that, I forgot to talk about Jacksonville. The reason I put Jacksonville on that list is because we know about all of the shit that happened there. Young and Ace, R.I.P. Julio Fulio. Like, we got to find out about the whole lore through their social media posts and through their way that they took their music videos and took it to a way another level. Like taking videos on top of people's grave sites and shit like that. You remember the Julio Fulio video? Like
directly. Like,
he went crazy with his videos. And then like the Who I Smoke was like a phenomenon, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, bro. Like we know so much about how, like name by name of who is the guys in your lore from your music. And then now all of them are gone. Like Young and Ace ain't popping like that anymore. Julio Fulio's dead. I bet you a bunch of people all around them all dead. It's whack, bro.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. But let us know in the comments below, worst self-snitching cities.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.